friends, Sandra here for Stars and Palm, and I'm really excited to share this fun DIY with you guys about how to make your own custom Mambi cover. I had this crazy idea in my head that, since everybody is buying the Happy Planners now, what could I do to further customize it and come up with fun ideas for you guys so that you could further customize it? So I decided to come up with a fun cover of watercolor ombre feathers, and I thought it would be such a great way to just make my own cover and just further personalize it. I'm just using the pencil to basically guide me where I'm going to be laying down my watercolors because it makes it easier for me to do it this way, but you could do it however you feel comfortable. You could also even use a stencil, you could use markers, you could even stamp. There's so many ways you could do this. I just happen to be using watercolor as my medium because it's one of my favorite mediums, and I really just enjoy how it looks and the kind of fun colors you can do with it and the blending, but you could really get a bunch of cool different looks. And if you guys want to see some more ideas that I have for covers, let me know in the comments, because if you want me to, I will turn this into kind of a series and do even more covers and give you guys even more ideas. But these are just the first basic ideas that I had for it that I really loved and wanted to share with you guys. I'm not going to do all the feathers on this, just so you know, on camera, so that you guys don't have to watch the whole thing. I just wanted you to get a basic idea of what I'm doing. I'm just pulling the dark color first and then just pulling up with the lighter. You don't want to use too much water if you're using watercolors because you will oversaturate your paper, and that usually leads to you making a mess and not being able to control your watercolors quite as much as you would like to. So that's my main tip for you doing that. If you guys do decide to try out this technique, please be sure and, hashtag me or tag me on Instagram. I'm also on Twitter. I usually have all my links in the description box below, and I'd love to see what you guys create and the inspirations that you guys get. It really makes my day when you guys tag me on Instagram and let me know. So that's always awesome for me. This next one I'm going to be doing similarly, but I'm going to be changing up the colors and mixing together certain colors in my watercolor palette to achieve a different look. I really love to mix like blues and greens together and different things like that to just customize shades and all of that. But anyway, I'm probably going to add a little bit of music for you guys so you can enjoy this, and then I will get on to the rest of my cover for you guys. So now that our cover is done, look how pretty it looks, you guys. I really love the way all those came out. I love feathers, and ombre feathers are even better. So I'm using my actual Happy Planner cover to kind of measure out exactly where I'm going to cut this. You could probably be more precise and try to measure it out and do it like that, but I'm just doing it this way because I find that it's easier for me personally. Of course, the Happy Planner does have like a slight ring around it of the way it was laminated, so it is going to be slightly bigger than what you're cutting, so be sure and keep that in mind. It's always best to either cut on the liner or a little bit past to make it just a tiny bit smaller. Even though if you're going to make a front and back cover for it, either way, even if it's a little bit bigger, it's really not going to matter in the grand scheme of things as long as it's not like ridiculously big. So I end up really liking the size that it came out for mine personally, but like I said, you can measure it to be more precise if you need to and that's what you prefer to do. Then I also go ahead and round the corners to get it ready for laminating. Make sure that your paper is fully dry before trying to round the corners or anything, because wet paper does not punch well. That's just a tip that I learned the hard way a while ago. Now, before I get to laminating, I decided I wanted to add just a saying in the middle of it to make it very like planner-esque, because for me, usually covers have some sort of like focal point in the middle of them, so I thought I would do this one, and I'm just using my little Kuretake Wink of Stella brush, which I really love. You can also use your black watercolors and a normal brush to do this. I just happen to have this brush lying nearby, and it happens to be one of my favorites, so that's why I'm using it. And I'm just simply adding the saying wild and free because I thought it kind of went with the whole feather look and stuff. It reminded me actually of a scrapbook paper collection that came out a while ago. I think it was by Cartabella or by Echo Park. I think it was actually called Wild and Free, so I just thought that's a cute saying. I like that saying in general, so I thought that would be cute. And then I'm making a fun little ampersand right in the middle. But like I said, this is really up to personal preference and what you personally like. So if, if that's not your thing, or you want to have like a really like important quote that means something to you, or even your name on it, you could do that as well. There's just so many things you could do. And I just really love the way this came out. I'm considering maybe making some of these and selling them on Etsy. That's how much fun I had making this. Now I just have the laminator sheet over it, and I'm going to run it through my laminator. I'm not going to bore you guys by showing you that part, but basically here it is, you guys. I went ahead, punched some holes in it, and then cut little notches, and my cover is basically perfect and ready to go. Now I just have to make a back cover. Yes. But for this video, I just wanted to do the front cover just to give you a basic idea. And my laminator is working kind of funky, so it didn't come out as smooth as I would have liked it to, but it still looks pretty nice. So that's just an idea. And my cover is slightly bigger than the Happy Planner, but as you can see, that's not really a problem, and it fits perfectly into the notches. Now, I decided to do a second cover just to give you another idea I had for something else you could do for a cover. Plus, I thought it would be fun to create a cover for a friend of mine. So I'm just adding some more watercolors, and I'm creating these little grid blocks. Like I said, I'm not going to do this whole process on camera, but just giving you an idea of what I'm doing. I use actually the lid cover of my watercolors to mix my colors, and I use it kind of like as a palette, and it actually works really great like that. Usually when I do watercoloring on camera, I don't always show what I'm like fully doing because the camera shot and all of that, but yeah, I think it's really important to have a watercolor palette. Even if it's just from old packaging that you have from something you bought, it's just a really great way to do that. And now I'm just adding a little bit more script, and I'm just using my Sharpie fine point to add it, which it's really looking cute. I love using my Sharpie fine point because it is bleed proof, and to top it off, I really just like the way it writes, but you could also use whatever pen you have, or if you have a regular Sharpie. So now that I'm done doing that, I'm going to put in my final message inside the blocks, which I thought it would be cute to also use my Wink of Stella just because I really, like I said, I like the fluidity of it. And you could also do this with a water brush if you filled it up with some watercolors. So really, you don't need to have this exact one, but I just happen to really love this one, and I do highly recommend it. As always, as you guys know, I do leave links in the description box below to most of the things I use and things that I recommend in replacement for other things, because I have more than obviously one watercolor set. I have several, so it really just depends on what mood I'm in, depending on the one that I use, and depending on what I'm doing as well. So that's usually my recommendation. And then next I'm just going to sketch out a little camera on the bottom there. Like I said, you could always stamp these sorts of things, and I could have done that myself, but I just thought it would be fun to sketch it because me personally, I really love drawing and doodling and all that kind of stuff, so I decided to add that there, and I'm just using my little Hello Kitty pencil to do that, but it's just a really simple basic drawing. And I could have really drawn anything there, but I just thought that it went with the quote very well, so. So guys, I'm not going to repeat the laminating steps and all of that over again, but I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you want to see more like this, more happy planner covers, or any other ideas you would like to see, be sure and leave me some comments below. Like this video if you enjoyed it, and be sure and subscribe to my channel if you haven't already, because I'm constantly putting out content like this, DIYs, project life, planner stuff. I'm kind of like, I do all kinds of things or hobbies that I enjoy, so I put out different videos at different times, and I hope you guys are enjoying them because I put a lot of time and effort into making sure that they're good for you guys. So anyway, again, thank you guys so much for watching. If you want any more info about me, links and everything are in the description box below, and we'll see you guys again soon.